Now we're going to look at subtracting polynomials. So we already know how to add. We know that we combine similar terms. Subtraction is going to be very similar, except there's one big thing you have to remember. So when I have a minus sign in front of that second polynomial, what that means is I have to distribute that -1. So that is really important that you do that. And if you multiply through by -1, it's going to change all of your signs. So every time you do this, it changes the signs in that second set of parentheses. Okay, so the first set still has a +1 in front of it, so it really doesn't change at all. I can just rewrite it. But now this is going to become -1 times 15, so minus 15xy. -1 times 7 becomes -7. So here is where you have to be really careful. You have to make sure that negative distributes. All right, so if I start looking for similar terms, I don't see another x cubed, so I'm going to bring that one down. I do see a +5xy and a -15xy. So 5 minus 15 is -10, so I'm going to put -10xy. Then I have a -1 and a -7. Put that together to get a -8. All right, so let's try number 2. Again, when I see that negative, I'm thinking about distributing the -1. Okay, so that's going to change all of those signs in the second set of parentheses. So the first set is going to stay the same, just 6x squared plus 5y squared. But now this is going to become -8x squared plus 3y squared minus 11. So notice 3 sign changes there. All right, so now I'm back to combining similar terms. So I'm noticing an x squared and an x squared. So 6 minus 8 is -2. So -2x squared. And then I move over and I see some y squareds. So a +5 and a +3. That's going to give me a +8 y squared. And then this -11 is by itself, so I'm just going to bring it down. All right, so let's try number 3. Once again, we're going to distribute that negative. So the first set stays exactly the same. The second set, the signs are going to change. So -2x squared. Notice minus and negative makes a plus, so plus 4x. And then a -1 times 9 gives me a -9. So you want to make sure all of those signs get changed. All right, I'm going to do this without color. We've got our x squared, so 4 minus 2 is 2, 2x squared. We've got our x's. We've got a +5 and a +4, so that gives us a +9x. And then finally our constants, a -2 and a -9, they're both negative, so I add and keep the sign. All right, so nice descending order there. All right, so for number 4, remember this first one stays exactly as it is. So the big mistake people make is they want to do this without showing any work, and so they tend to forget. They try to remember to change the signs and combine, and that's usually a bad idea. So I want to show you on this one what's called a vertical format. So as I complete these, I'm going to put them back under here. So minus a negative makes a plus 3a to the third. A minus a negative makes a plus a squared. So as I'm doing this, I want to make sure I'm lining up similar terms. And then my last one is a -17. So some people like this because they can add them together that way, and it kind of shows the similar terms. They're already collected. So that'll be 10a to the third. This will be -4 plus 1 is -3a squared. And then 5 minus 17 will be -12. Now that doesn't work as well on the last example because notice that our similar terms are not lined up. So I would probably not try to do that vertical line up on this one. Instead, I would bring down the first one exactly as it is. Then for the second one, I need to change those signs. So a -7xy, a +15, and a -13x to the fifth. So remember, when you distribute a negative, it has to change every single sign in that last set of parentheses. All right, so looking for similar terms, here's an x to the 5th and here's an x to the 5th. They're both negative, so I add them and keep the x to the 5th, so negative 15. Now I'm seeing a negative 7xy. I don't see anything else to go with that, so I'm going to bring it down. And then finally, I see a negative 12 and a positive 15. So 15 minus 12 would be positive 3. And all your similar terms have been combined, and that is simplified.